So, in as much as we want to celebrate the achievement of Tantita, what I'm saying is the armed forces needs to sit up. The presidency has to sit up. Because what he's telling us is that one day an institution can come and say, you know what, this kidnapping and banditry, we can handle it. You understand? And truly, they may be able to handle it.
Good morning and welcome to today's newspaper review on Laveritatv Productions. It's Wednesday, June 10, 2026, and we are glad to have you with us. As always, we'll be taking a look at the major headlines making waves across Nigeria and beyond. Bringing you the stories, insights, and developments you need to stay informed. I am your host, Kende Mohammed, and together let's turn the pages of today's news. On the Daily Times newspaper, 2027, Falana raises red flags, lists insecurity, attacks on free speech, hunger as threat to democracy. While on the Matrix newspaper, Democracy Day, federal government defends Tinubu's reforms, says Nigeria on path to recovery. While on the Punch newspaper, post-primary chaos worsens as INEC fixes candidate submission deadline. While on the New Telegraph newspaper, insecurity, Rev summoned service chiefs Ribado, Oyedele and others. While on the Whistlers newspaper, amid rising national insecurity, Niger Delta finds stability through Tantita investigation. And that's all for the headlines review. Let's go for a quick break, and when we return, we'll be having our guest in the studio.
This November, greatness takes the field. Welcome to the AKF Football Tournament Season 1, where passion meets purpose and talent meets opportunity. From every corner, champions will rise. Only one team will take home the ultimate prize of 1 million naira cash. Think you've got what it takes? Step onto the pitch in Kaduna State this November 2026 and show the world what you are made of. This is more than football. It's a movement powered by the Adekunle Komolafe Foundation in partnership with Laveritatv Production, giving hope, creating impact, and changing lives. Register now and be part of something big. Support the dream. Donate just 30,000 naira as your participation fee. Hurry as registration closes on 31st of August 2026. AKF Football Tournament, where legends are born and destinies are fulfilled. Are you ready to play?
Welcome back. Morning, Mr. Morris.
Morning.
And how are you doing?
Doing great, never better.
So going to today's business, on the Whistlers newspaper, amid rising national insecurity, Niger Delta finds stability through Tantita investigation.
Well, the thing is, I won't necessarily say it's a bad news or is it good news. It depends on perspective. But where I want to view this from is, Nigeria's economy depends heavily on oil exploration. And we can't even trust the Nigerian armed forces enough to protect our pipelines, that we now have to rely on private institutions. They've done a great job, but it's a slap on the face of the government. It's a slap. That what it took the nation years to accomplish, our armed forces, a private security outfit or a private security institution is doing it almost effortlessly. The oil and gas sector is, when you want to make certain comments about it, you must be really good, because Dangote said the oil mafia are very, very, But we from the Niger Delta region, we've seen illegal oil mining, oil refinery. We call it oil bunkering. It's big business. The fact that it is big business means that many people will be, will want to be there. Different kind of people, the good, the bad, and the ugly, will want to get into that space, although it is illegal. And somehow, and because of this level of crime, or that level of, that's the fact that people got involved in it a lot within the Niger Delta region, we started seeing vandalism, oil pipeline vandalism on the increase. It was costing Nigeria billions of dollars every year. The armed forces couldn't tackle it. When I'm talking about the armed forces, I'm talking about both the army and the navy. They couldn't tackle it. These guys were running their businesses. It was almost like the system was failing until, Tantita. So, in as much as we want to celebrate the achievement of Tantita, what I'm saying is the armed forces needs to sit up. The presidency has to sit up. Because what it's telling us is that one day an institution can come and say, you know what, this kidnapping and banditry, we can handle it. You understand? And truly, they may be able to handle it. Where does that leave the military? Can you see how things compound over time? It's like a chain reaction. Incompetence leads to loss of faith in the government. Loss of faith in the government leads to alternative being provided. And then what happens? People begin to trust alternatives aside the government. We hope the government sees far. It doesn't happen in any other country, except Nigeria. It doesn't happen. A reasonable country would tackle this issue on time. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Mr. Rizomres.
Yes.
That was a very beautiful one. So under the sub-headlines, Abia restores 24 hours electricity in Aba to exit national grid, and also Obi faults Tinubu over rising debt, missing borrowed funds.
First of all, thumbs up to Governor Alex Otti of Abia State. You see, what Abia State is doing is, they are trying to tell us that not all solutions must come from Abuja.
Yeah.
You understand? In short, Abuja cannot solve any problem right now. If I'm the governor of a state and I want that there is kidnapping happening in my state, for example, and I want it to end, there needs to be called governor. Do you know the lives that are dependent on every signature you put down, every statement you make?
Wow.
We're not even talking about president. I mean governor. The level of influence is huge. Governor Alex Otti is showing us that. Before, okay, if I'm traveling down to Akwa Ibom State, when we get to Abia, because Abia, we have a boundary with them, so when you get to Abia, you have to take a road that immediately you leave Abia State. That's through the Aba axis. Immediately you leave there, you enter Ikorekpene. That you don't enter Akwa Ibom State. You see that road? People literally fold their trousers to their knee at a particular time of the year. Because it was that bad. And that is where you are in Abia State, you're having Aba market. The level of economic, the level at which things are happening there is, but nobody paid attention. They had governors that came and left. The likes of Ojius Okalu and co. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. It took Alex Otti 1 term, 4 years, to transform he's the best governor in Nigeria at the moment. To transform the entire Abia State. Now we are talking about 24 hours electricity for Aba. What he's trying to tell you is we want to push up our production, because if you want industrialization to move, you must stabilize power. Do you understand? Now he's now saying that we are going to generate our own electricity and make it 24 hours. Do you see what he's doing? That means he's directly affecting the economy of Abia State positively. That's called leadership. Does he need to now beg anybody to vote for him for second term? He doesn't. That's what Tinubu and co don't understand. Work! Show workings, people will put you back in office. Simple. And also we're talking about what's the other thing?
Obi faults Tinubu over rising debt.
Peter Obi has said this thing countless times. There's nothing bad in borrowing. Every reasonable country that wants to grow borrows. They borrow. But the problem is, in Nigeria, we borrow to steal. We borrow to throw party. We borrow to do burial. We borrow to fly out our girlfriends. Yes, politicians do that. They borrow, They steal, and then they la vida. That's their culture. A senator is having 5 Prado Jeep. What are you using it for? He's having 6 houses in Maitama, in Abuja. I mean, what are you using it for? I'm not talking about rental properties. I'm talking about mansion. Oh God, for what? The culture of waste. Money where they just borrow when they don't thief and finish. That's what Dr. Peter Obi is talking about. The culture of waste and theft must die for Nigeria to work. I'll just put this. I borrowed it from Peter Obi. When you go to some countries where they build airports, because of the sound that airplanes make, they build it at the outskirts of towns so that those sound doesn't disturb people. And the land used to be very big, you see. And very massive land though, not be small distance. Some countries convert the parts where they know they use. They'll convert it to where they can plant. They can plant cash crops there. Do you know how many airports we have in Nigeria that have lands wasting? Why not use it? If you borrow and invest in agriculture like that, not just around those places, in other places, Niger State, Kaduna State, Borno, Zamfara, Kano, where would that put the country? You borrow to invest in assets that appreciate over time. Nigerians borrow to steal, to waste. So I just hope that if one day Peter Obi becomes president, because Tinubu is saying I inherited nonsense from Buhari, I hope the day Peter Obi becomes president in Nigeria, he doesn't meet a Nigeria that is dead and gone. I just hope so, because the path we are taking, that's not how to. That's the wrongest path. Trust me, it is. I hope they wake up.
Very so too. So thank you so much, Mr. Wisdom West.
You're welcome.
And thank you for being in the studio this morning.
Pleasure's on mine.
You got what it takes to do it. You got what it takes to do it now. You can make it. You can make it. You can make it. You can make it.
Forget what you're going through. Focus on where you're going to. Forget the numbers of times you fall. Look up and you can get up. Foes want you down. Father wants you up. Follow your dream and you gon' make it. Cause life is what you make it, my brother, and we gon' make it. My sister, you a diamond, they can never ever break you. Look up to the sky, let the most high elevate you. Flip your.
And that was a very beautiful one from our guest in the studio. To sponsor the ongoing Adekunle Komolafe quiz competition, you can visit our website at www.laveritattvproductions.com. And that brings us to the end of today's newspaper review. Thank you for joining us as we explored the major headlines and stories making waves today. I remain your host, Kende Mohammed, and see you tomorrow.